Okay, hello everybody. So I'm just trying to get something kind of happening on this other screen here, and it's being kind of slow. And I'm feeling kind of that way too this morning. It's interesting. I guess that's not far enough in front of the camera. I usually don't have one screen. Oh yeah, 3 instant viewers. Welcome, 3 instant viewers. Yeah, I just wanted to very quickly send somebody something about something. Sorry if my shirt's distracting. Is a bit of a story about it. I've alluded to. I haven't had it for that long, but and you all you're like, oh, I'm going for ice cream. See you later. um, so what do I want to start this with? I'm not sure. And I actually know somebody who did specify. I met somebody who specified that, and it seems like things are frozen, so I'm going to pause for a moment. Ironically, we're stuck at a minute here. Okay, there we go. Then it jogged ahead. Interestingly, though, I had to reload it because it didn't. It didn't start or whatever, and it said I may lose changes, I guess, the title or whatever, but I didn't. So, and I almost couldn't think of what to title this video, but well, I talked a bit about kind of talk through my day. You know, I'm home alone. Aside from our dog, and find it helpful to kind of talk things out, and I don't know, maybe something will inspire others. But my one friend that said he wasn't working today, mostly acquaintances, it says that he was active an hour ago, but did work a very long day and possibly didn't sleep right after. So hopefully he might tune in at some point. If not during, I guess after. It's always nice when there's some, interactions during, but I also have to watch my energy too. I guess it was like my brother that I kind of broke up with, and just kind of some of those kind of symptoms that I had been having. Not so much the tenderness in the tight chest, but um, just the kind of, I really think, see, the diabetes, and I know this seems ironic, but it's special to me. It's when I first got it, I may have tried it on quickly, but I actually didn't wear it for a few days. And I thought we had a lot of clothes, but I was looking through the closet and it's like, not too many t-shirts, which is very strange. I don't know. I mean, some may have been in the laundry, not to bring them up, but yeah, I didn't see as many as I thought we had. I know I donated some to the diabetes bin actually, but there was a couple of long sleeves in there. None that I would have picked, which is kind of another reason I donated them, because they weren't really ones I really cared to have anymore and ever wore. But anywho, but I really think it might be anemia. And I'm trying to decide if I should join groups about that in person or online. One of those things, and I haven't had a lot of it happen, or in any groups I've ever been in either format, where and I do have anxiety sometimes. I mean, we all do, but and it hasn't been too bad lately, but it is something that I have. I haven't found that, and sorry if this lags or jogs a little bit, but I haven't found, like, in group settings or whatever, like, support groups online or in person. Maybe a little bit, and if it's online, and somebody makes me insecure, it's welcome. But I especially if I don't really know them that well, or if communicating hasn't worked. But I'm gonna sit back here in the comfy seat. But oh yes, I was going to put that down here. Sorry about that. But well, I guess I was kind of sitting in front of it. Yeah, it's. I mean, I'm already kind of worried. I feel like I've been experiencing symptoms of it for a few weeks now, um, but on and off maybe for a few years, but less noticeably, less frequent. Maybe is the way to put it. Um, what's hard now? Some people may not say diabetes by them, but what's hard is that certain uh, conditions, maybe a nice word to use, or a nicer word to use, chapstick, um, just if you're wondering, look like other conditions, like CFS, not challenge services, chronic fatigue syndrome. There are lots of disorders that just simply make you feel drained and tired. So, I mean, I've thought I might have CFS, but I don't know if I do. But anywho, nobody's watching at the moment, and if it's too far, they might not look. But I just said that, but they say it. Sorry, sometimes I get in my head, and the brain is a fascinating thing. It's not that anything would be terrible to share a bit more clearly, and sometimes it isn't intentional, but sometimes my mind's just like, okay, I'm switching into just kind of talking to myself. Doesn't need to be set in the video mode. And it's one of those things. Like, I mean, I don't know. This didn't have to be a video, but I thought, yeah, might as well. I'm probably going to have some socializing today aside from online, but and I feel like something that transpired, and it's interesting because I have a few things I want to do this week on the days which are a bit nicer, and part of me just wants to do them all and be very productive, but I know that my system won't let me do that, and that I don't need to do it all in one day because I have other days I can do some of it. But now I guess and that was something for a second. But basically, one thing that is worth considering, especially these days, is if I'm feeling good on a particular day, however, I don't want to overdo it. I also like I say the weather because I don't drive and stuff. But yeah, basically, but I got a call today, somewhat surprised. And I think in that call, I did say that I was interested, and in my message initially in the other one, but she did say they filled up fast. But I think she said specifically that today's had some people cancel. So essentially, I had given lots of notice, and she didn't say anything about, she said she didn't know who had called. Maybe they didn't get the message other people got to it first, but I think that I said it was 3 weeks ago that I called. It was still March. I think it was still March, to be quite honest, right at the top of April. And that should be plenty of time to register, even if space is limited. But basically, but of these things I want to try and accomplish this week, none of them I'm feeling are more urgent than other ones. I'd like them all to, just get done. So that's kind of what's made it hard. Then randomly chose, but I didn't get as much out of that, picking up the text forms and we need a bulb for a salt lamp. I mean, don't for one of our salt lamps. We honestly should maybe turn this one off, otherwise it will go out too, or at least it goes down really low while still being on. It seemed like it really affected how bright it was in the room here. It's almost in view on the camera, but it's not. But that's always on. They have very good bulbs that last a long time. I don't know exactly how much they are, and that's something I might actually want to remember calling. I misplaced my cell phone. I had it this morning, but I can't find it. We do have another phone, though, and it is something that I kind of wanted to remember to do. But I could just go with 25, and if I can afford it, I can afford it. If I can't, I can't. With what I have with me. We do have other lights in the room, and one of them is actually is really sharp. I don't know what shape you call them, but kind of round but sharp. They're kind of odd, but they look nice. They're like stars, in a way. Um, and we have, it's ironic, decorative teacups on the top of the window ledge, and there's actually a bit of a groove behind the ledge, which is perfect because then we're able to kind of put the cord. And lately, it's not been falling down the side of the bed. For some reason, I haven't quite figured out yet. Um, but for the past 2 or 3 days. But yeah, so basically, we do have those lights, but it's nice to have the salt lamp in there. You know, nothing else. So, and the places are fairly close to each other, and they're close to where I was planning to go today. So it almost seems meant to be to kind of actually take care of all three things. The other day, I had posted about how I hadn't heard back about a workshop that I thought I'd signed up for, and it's kind of weird because even though I had a very nice weekend, and a lot of them these days are kind of nice in the sense that we're both home. Sometimes we'll go to a bakery or something, and we did actually do that too. But sometimes they're kind of boring. I do and don't mind that, but and this was a nicely balanced one. I'm sorry I'm crossing my arms. I'm just kind of comfortable like that. That's all. But this is a nicely balanced was a nicely balanced one, and we just came out of it. And I was looking at an April calendar for these workshops, and I guess, and it was clearly under Tuesday. Either my eye jumped, the saw it wrong, or my mind out of eager curiosity was telling me it was that day. I didn't go down because I thought it for some reason I thought it was virtual, and I hadn't gotten confirmation or anything really. However, then today this morning I get a call, and it's about 10:25 now. It was about an hour ago, uh, and saying that doesn't know who I would have spoke to. Didn't sound like either of the two that I met. I don't think I've met, and it didn't sound like well, I can't remember for sure. It could have been the person I left a message for initially, but she didn't say that she'd ever gotten it. And basically, they said that there had been some space become available. They do fill up fast. Space is limited. Um, I said, or I guess I missed that. When can I take the one on Wednesday? That's what I said. She says, well, there's I think she was trying to tell me that one was full, but she said there's space in the one today, and that's when I noticed. So, being that it's close to a couple other things I wanted to do, um, in the name of the money out, whatever, being that I didn't miss it after all, and if I had, there was the one 2 days later, but that one I might not be able to take. It's more about diets. Um, Maybe I should. Uh, as far as I don't know. I don't think I need to be anxious going there because I mean the area is so, but I just think it was badly coordinated. The communication with her has been fine, and she's not said anything untoward or whatever, or really that anybody else has. She's told me to watch for future opportunities, but I've been, as I mentioned the other day, slightly misled to believe that there was currently some. And then I think she found out there wasn't. She wasn't even super apologetic. She just kind of said, well, actually, there's nothing available right now, but I recommend you watch the site or whatever. Uh, so that was weird. And I guess it still kind of, it still feels like it was weird and kind of slightly annoys me. But I'm going to look past that. I'm going to try to because I don't know if I have that particular condition. I might, but what I do believe I have is like I said, possibly anemia, and I have a desire to learn about this stuff. I don't know what I'd ever need to do with the information. However, maybe one day I would meet somebody that's newly diagnosed, and I don't think I'm not saying it's not hard to live with, and that, but I don't think that it is super complex. I know there's like 3 or 4 different levels. I would say it's one of those disorders or conditions, actually, like I say, that is a bit, the body's going to do what it does, but you can kind of adjust. And I don't know, it just feels like it'd be a bit easier to be a bit more careful, maybe at times. It feels like it's more one of those conditions, whereas the other one, you just kind of have to, a lot of other ones, including the other one that I mentioned, you just kind of have to go with the flow, play it by ear kind of thing, which is kind of good in life anyway, right? It took me a while to get started because I've been feeling kind of slow today, and and the dog had gotten up when the phone rang. Then it seemed like he wanted to come up here, so I did too. Then I got distracted watching other videos and just doing stuff, messaging a little bit. But part of me feels like it's a gift from the person that I lost to the condition. Really, it is a good word to get in the habit of using, even if the other words aren't inaccurate. I think, as the viewers here for a few seconds, I think using the word condition is best. It's a bit gentler, I guess, under these conditions. Okay. I mean, it's certainly nicer out today, and I had planned to go anyway. I woke up with really kind of not stiff, I would say tingly, kind of numb. And I've been sleeping. I mean, and yes, people sometimes do briefly have, but this happens sometimes to me. You briefly have, an arm or a hand or leg or a foot that goes numb, or as they call it, falls asleep. But like that, a lot of my adult years, and I'm late 30s, I'd only ever heard that terminology. But neuropathy is essentially, there's other conditions too. And again, so many names for things that are fairly similar. But no, I think, I want to learn. I want to, it's something to do, although I did have other plans. You know what? The truth is, too, even though it's only Tuesday, if I don't get it all done this week, I can do it next week. It can be something to do on the weekend with, so I mean, it's fine. I want to feel like I'm being productive and getting the things done, because honestly and truly, a lot of the times it's just basic stuff, and not that some of this isn't, but there's 2 or 3 other things that don't have to get done usually, or the one thing every couple months is good. And we started in the pandemic ordering groceries online, and mostly prefer to do that. Every now and then prefer otherwise, and so it's kind of like, just a bit chilly. It's kind of like the I suppose I didn't think they did. All these times I sometimes feel like I'm not that busy, and I do have, like I say, a few things, but there's not, like, what's hard is that there's no specifics except for this workshop. So I think I will go to it, because I didn't miss it after all, and it is in the area I have to go in. So that's kind of cool. I'm glad with what transpired on here the other day when I thought I'd missed it. I think that was worthwhile, perhaps. But yeah, so and I feel like my friend who passed away might know some of the people that go to these things. Maybe she even did, although I don't think so. I think she was busy enough with her work and her family and her friends, and maybe she did at one point in her life, but she'd had it for so long, and I think that she was just really trying to just manage living with it. I could be wrong. Honestly, we didn't talk about her health that much. In fact, when I think about it, I think she only mentioned once or twice that she even had it. I think I only seen her test once or twice. And she'd had it since a child. So, and then the last time I saw her in person, she was mentioning, and that was 2 years before she passed away. Yeah, I think 2 years. Not much more than 2 years, but I would say 2. possibly one, but I think two. Anyway, she was mentioning how she'd been in the hospital, uh, some stuff going on. I almost actually can't remember now. She was saying the pumpkin stomach, but I could be wrong. And I said, "Oh dear." She's like, "Yeah, it was like, a bunch of stuff was going on, but I'm all right now, though." It's like, well, obviously, because you're standing, you're not. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say obviously, but and if only I'd known it would have been the last time I'd seen her, But life goes on a different way, I believe, as I sometimes talk about in these videos. So there's that. But yeah, part of me thinks, she may or may not be familiar with some of the people there, and part of me thinks, why not say her name? I mean, I'm not rambling, that's a little iffy at the moment, but it might be a cool mutual thing to have. I don't know how much I'm going to get to talk to people today. I don't know if there's going to be group activities. I think it goes 1:30 to 3 or 3:30. Um, they do have a group. And initially, or was that at a different location, I'd heard that this was only for people with. But then I think these particular things they did say were open to all. So, uh, and that family and friends. I probably know lots of people with this particular condition, but I don't I don't know it for sure. Just like people that have an age to read certain things. But yeah, so feel kind of the energy is telling me it's a lovely day. Hopefully, I'll feel up to going out and enjoying it, doing this. I feel again, Ray kind of saying, don't have to do it just because of me, but all the things you're thinking um, are lovely, positive thoughts. And if you do go, I hope that you have a good time, is what I kind of sense, and that I have a good time. So, or maybe have a shower before I leave. I'm hoping that I have some things in the laundry that I might prefer to wear other than what I'm wearing, because otherwise, I'm not sure. Uh, I know that inside, well, it is a bit warmer out today, and I know that I get easily warm inside places. So it's nice enough, I think, to wear shorts, but I'm wearing these for a few days around the house. So, but anything else? The only other thing, I think I will try and keep this short just to conserve my energy. Though, like I say, a shower might help me feel better. I know the other day I had one, and it did, but only briefly. But and then yeah, I guess I'll want to have lunch. Let the dog be downstairs for a bit because he's upstairs right now. He's upstairs laying his crate happily. But be there when we head out because he gets in trouble sometimes even when he's not into it. Really, in it, come to think of it. But yeah, I want to have a quick lunch. There's something I thought I could have with that last little bit pasta because there wasn't all that much left, and I can't remember what it was at the moment. So hopefully it'll jump out at me. Lots of garlic bread. We have lots of garlic bread, lots of bread in general. But and then maybe I won't call. Like I say, I'll just go with the money I have. Maybe not be wanting to spend more than $10. I don't need to bring anything else to pick up the other stuff. I often have a bag with me, just with a couple of things that I need when I'm out, and in case I need it to put things in. So just like a bag or whatever. So and then go to the thing. I'm not sure. I don't want to come across as I might have COVID because I think, some people would say that it is still kind of like I've noticed that the doctors do it. I noticed that sometimes they do in Safeway, sometimes they don't. Like staff. The one time not long ago I was in that grocery store, there was a few staff that were wearing them. And I must say, not to get hugely into that topic in that, because I know it has been controversial and stuff, but in my 38 years, and it's weird because I don't go out a ton. I think one time I got it at a restaurant. One time, or other times I've got it. Well, share channel because he's around people a lot at work. But and it's not that I'm not, but not often. But I think 3, maybe 4 times I got sick, and it felt different than a flu I've ever had. I didn't really feel like it was a cold, and a lot of other people have too. So I mean, I really do think it's a thing, and but you know what? That's why people at least initially started using masks, in that way, is because, and we had to glue the one back together, and the dog kind of tore one up, and I don't know where I have other ones that fit and aren't like too patterned, but I was planning on to past my main area and that, but I guess that's why they have them though, because if you feel like you're slightly under the weather, normally you'd be told to stay home. And the other thing I don't get about masks, although there's different design, different ways or whatever, is the flat ones. Although those are usually the ones I have, because it's like you sneeze into your face, into your mask, essentially. Um, just like any other time you would sneeze. I don't know. I'm often inclined to just pull it down and sneeze on my arm, or yeah, on my arm usually, because then it's not on my hands, or a Kleenex. You know, I also noticed, and again, during the pandemic, I mean, well, a lot of us weren't, but even as things kind of loosened a little bit, it's a personable thing. Sometimes the other person wasn't wearing one. I don't know, and I guess it's common enough. Most people didn't comment about it, but there'd be times when I was talking to someone and happened to be wearing one. Whereas I'm talking, I lower it. It's not like I like to look at my face that much, when I'm talking. I mean, I don't, but I don't know. It just I've noticed it had been something I would do, but and I do have the facial hair, so they get warm after a while. He thought the blue was good side, but it also uh, but yeah. So basically, but there were, and if some, there's this debate some people have, and again, not to get hugely into this topic as I continue to talk about it, but that it protects others. Well, it actually protects others and yourself, somewhat, most of the time, But so it wouldn't be weird for someone to possibly be feeling some symptoms and wear it and come. And I'm pretty sure she signed me up while I was on the phone. Right, that's funny. My brain gets inspired. But so yeah, it you know. But the two girls at the desk might recognize me, and it's a little bit awkward because they thought I was going to start volunteering, and then it's not really looking like that's happening right now. But I may or may not be the only one wearing one, and that might feel a little bit awkward. So we'll have to see. Like, I mean, I think it's my other conditions that I'm noticing a little bit, and they're not really contagious. So, and honestly, I do feel a little bit better than when I first broke up. So, just a little. So, like I say, the mixed feelings, but again, I think it was just, I don't think it was intentionally that I got misled, even if it slightly felt like that, because, it was something I kind of got a little bit kind of excited to get involved in. But who knows? Who knows what the future holds? It's interesting. I watched a video actually that had been interviewed in a podcast by somebody about things about me and that, and it's interesting to think that some of the answers would not have been necessarily answered the same way by me now, and some maybe. And it was interesting. There was a couple of things in it that I hadn't remembered had been in it either. So yeah, I didn't know about the other one, but that's okay. He worked a long day. He's off today. So, but yeah, so basically, slightly clouding up. I should try and eat something better than the carbs I plan to eat. There's a bit of a diagram, but and I don't know what I'm going to do for dinner yet. And we're trying to save money in case we do go on that trip. They might actually have snacks. Well, I feel weird skipping a meal, but I almost kind of remember that this thing says that, or the website or something said light snacks or whatever. But that's light snacks, you know. But yeah, it's probably just gonna be a lot of carbs because that's easy right now. I did have a bit of peanut butter. Maybe I should also finish that muffin. Kind of funny to have with lunch, but I'm probably going to be eating at 11, so it's still kind of early. Yeah, so you know, it's kind of just random sharing that may or may not really be that interesting, I guess. But I like to try and do a video every day if I can. And later I might not feel up to it. Although I am planning to maybe cover some Elton John songs, and I'm not sure what else. But the other day I finished off a video unintentionally, kind of quoting and singing a little bit um, one of his songs. It just kind of happened. I mean, a lot of this is not pre-planned, you know, and so even though I kind of feel a little bit easier about him these days, I do like his music. I do like to sing it. So maybe I'll do that tonight, especially because I kind of want Glenn to kind of overhear me going, ooh. Even though it sounds like a siren. Because that's what the song does. However, that's a great segue, I would say, into I'm gonna do. I wasn't sure because I have seen it afterwards, I guess, because the lyrics, some of them are quite nice, some of them are a little bit not sure what to think of them. I actually recently found out, I thought London Timmins area, but that this particular musician who is actually quite famous is actually from my hometown originally. And I knew, like I say, that she's Canadian. So Sarah McLaughlin actually speaking about her with somebody recently and thinking about, it's interesting. I have a cousin, fairly close, one of my first cousins. I have many. On my dad's side who has MS. And usually we call it MS. It was interesting, but sometimes you say it in full. But this morning I was seeing something about that, and it was like weird to kind of came off the tongue a little bit weird or whatever, into the mind, multiple sclerosis. I heard it differently. That's what it was. I heard it differently. Like multiple type of scoliosis, or is it sclerosis? Because I have scoliosis mildly, and I'm wondering if it may have someday turn into MS. I don't know if that's possible. I'm trying to remember how it happened with Mark. I really don't think I knew, other than that he had it, and as not long before he died, it had gotten worse, of course. I don't know what this thing is along the side. Oh, they've redesigned their website a little bit. So, but I think I'm going to do this song because it's fun. Melody, kind of, sort of. It's fairly simple, and one of the things I noticed when I was kind of singing along with watching the YouTube video, I mean, some people may think I have a deep voice. I don't know. Or unique voice. I don't know. I have a range when I sing, but I was getting some, I think, nice low notes in this, deep notes in this. And I kind of like the message. So I'm going to try it. And then I found this really old that kind of seems to fit with the last note in the song. So I'm going to try and combine those. And then we'll wrap this up and I'll do my other stuff. And I think I'm seeing what my day is going to look like. And hopefully the evening would be nice. And we'll get 10 more things on the next nice day. It's amazing how, and sorry if it's loud or tinny or twangy, my other one, I believe, is downstairs, and yeah, I don't like to play it as much these days. Although in that interview I found with a friend, she actually asked about it, and I had some interesting things to say about it. But anywho, I'll try not to go too crazy with the cool beans. I'm used to say that ironically. With the guitar playing. Got what it takes you to win. Today is your day to give up here, don't you quit. Because now this is it. You can, hope you will. Get to the top of the hill. Part of the fun is the climb. You just have to make up your mind. But you don't always have things in your control. But today is your day. Nothing can stand in your way. Today is your day. Everything going your way. Today, yeah. I don't know if it's this neat combination, by the way, of chords, or if I'm just kind of singing them differently than I normally would. Because sometimes I can play one thing and sing a different thing with it. Today is today. I'm going to show you an example of that, actually, which I kind of just did, but just so that you know that I'm doing it. So I did it kind of like this. Today, somebody close to the storm. This is one of those lyrics. But today is your day. Nothing will stand in your way. My shirt's distracting me. Today is your day. Everything going your way. Expect more or no less. Just go out and give it your best. Nothing can stand in your way. Today is your day. Today is your day. Whenever you go your way. It kind of does that too, actually. I don't know if it's the same pattern, but it feels like different chords are being played. It says this chorus though. Just take one step at a time. I promise that you will be fine. Today. Actually, it ends with no chords. I did notice that. I think that's the key I want. Maybe even more that, which is a really nice one. But really tall and deep. How have I not noticed that one there? But yeah, so okay. Today, just take one step at a time. I promise that you will be fine. I can't make promises, but today, yeah. I've never done this before. Today, I say today, today. Something like that. Now I'm putting it back in the right. Okay. Actually, that one right there is pretty similar. That's still taller and very thick. So yeah. go and try and make it a good day for yourself and for others. And I will try and do the same. I mean, I am going to be in that area where I've been meaning to buy almost personal beverage, a hot beverage or whatever. It's a nice day out today, but and I've either seen people that I wasn't sure if they were, or I saw, or didn't see, or didn't go all the way down to the end of the plaza because we were rushing back to have a video call with a relative who's older and not and has some health difficulties, um, and we already had made an extra stop, and also the first place that we went was a bit busier than we, I guess, had thought it would be. We were kind of in the middle, but of the line, but well, I mean, there was like one or two people in front of us, one or two people behind came right after us. We got in just in time, and he was kind of going slow, so luckily we did. But yeah, so it's still something I think I'd like to do, and I have a whole video about that. You could probably find it based on the title. It's fairly recent, but yeah, I don't know if this is time or if it's yeah, I think it might be my fourth try. So we'll see if actually 2 or 3 potentially saying check your connection. I basically just 2 other people had already done it, and I was inside places, so eating and stuff. So anywho, take care.